All right, so I've done over 20 partnerships in the last 5 years. I would say majority of them went relatively well. Today I'm going to cover a couple things that I get asked about when I do these partnerships. Most people are like, "Yo, Jackie, you seem to partner with like a ton of people. How come you've never been screwed?" And today I'm going to walk you guys through it. For the next couple minutes, I'm going to eat some creatine plus report my numbers from the day before. If you guys aren't into that, simply skip on ahead using that YouTube progress bar. Here we go. All right, so yesterday we did $896 in total revenue, down $100 from the day before. Amazon coming in at $130, Mediavine at $102, and the adult revenue source at $665. That's kind of what the episode, guys. So if you sign up for the first link in the YouTube description, you get sent the URL to this sheet. Today is October 11th, episode 662. It's probably going to be a short one because I do have to run to brunch. The wife commands it, so your boy's submissive. All right, here we go. I just wrote down a couple notes. So most of the time, if I'm starting a business from scratch, I always do 50-50. Even if the other people have like way less, let's say, revenue generating power, I just do 50-50. Because what you'll note is if you do most of the revenue driving, then they'll just handle more of the ops automatically. And because there's enough meat on the bones, they'll just do it. Especially if you just drive all the revenue. And yes, you're probably thinking, Jackie, most of the time, I'm sure I can command freaking, say, 70, 80, even 90% of the revenue. I think if you give enough meat on the bones, overall, it'll do better. I'll give you a couple examples. I think a good example is probably the advised community. If you think about it, Sean and I we have 50-50, right? I do have like a stalemate clause in there where I can, how do I say? If we're in stalemate, I can always make the decisions. However, our revenue split has always been 50-50. And the reason for that is because I approached him initially. I was like, yo, I want to do a SEO community. He's like, I'm down. All right. And right off the bat, I said 50-50, despite Advise already going to a certain revenue. I didn't ask him to buy in because I was like, I want you to handle the ops completely, pretty much. All right. And since then, he has done so and done so to a degree where we grew Advise from how much was I doing in the beginning? Like 1 to 2K per month, all the way up to, I think last November, we were at 100K. All right. I couldn't have done it without him. And I think this is very important to know. I think if I had 90% of the revenue, he wouldn't be as interested. He'd probably just collect it as like a paycheck. So you have to give enough meat on the bones for people to care. All right. And this goes very well to the point, like it's not always about max value extraction. It truly isn't. All right. I believe I'm like the abundance mindset through and through. Everyone can eat. Everyone can eat. That's why actually I share so much of my tactics online is because I truly believe if you educate more people, it's like a way larger piece of the pie. For example, you're probably thinking, yo, Jackie, remember when you shared like the Levanta strat, all these like parasite strats? Because when you share like these actionable advice, more people will join the industry and the industry as a whole will grow because these new people will eventually know better ways to educate the masses about our tactics. For example, whether it be local SEO, whether it be Reddit marketing, whether it be, I don't know, affiliate, so on and so forth. So yeah, I think abundance mindset is a huge thing. Third, this is like a massive one for me. All right. Never screw someone. Never shortchange anyone. Don't cook the books. That is ridiculous. It's like I think the upside is capped, right? Like how much are you going to be stealing from your partners? It's like minimal, all right? But the downside is like infinite. Like after your name is cooked, it's like it'll never come back, all right? So if you speak to any of my 20 plus partnerships, no one will say I've ever screwed anyone ever. All right? So very very important. That's why back when I was like buying and flipping content sites, I was able to do it without escrow. People would literally push me their domains, the businesses worth up to like 300, 400K first. And I was like, I'll get it. I'll do due diligence and then I'll pay out. It's sometimes even without a contract. It's crazy. All right. And that's because over the last few years, I was able to build up enough like reputation where I don't screw people on deals ever. Okay. Super important. I cannot be, I think if there's any takeaway, this one would be the main one. Next up, be upfront about your screw up. So if I don't know, let's say I burn 1 to 2K in ad spend because I was running an empty ad on Facebook. I would be like, Peter, hey, I screwed up big time. I'll try to eat the cost. And then he'll be like, no, it's okay. This shit happens. We'll split it. Stuff like that. I think most of the time your business partners are understanding, especially if you pick the right one. Yeah. I think over the years, you can probably get a pretty good sense check if you chat with them back and forth for like a couple times a day. You'll get a good sense in like a week. Because there's some weirdos out there. If they kind of say some crazy, out of pocket things, I'm like automatic. No way am I ever working with this guy. All right. So keep that in mind. This one's huge because I know certain friends in my circle who have been screwed in the past. So if you're a revenue driver, so there's like operators, there's developers nowadays, and then like developer / builders, and then there's revenue drivers, which is like, I don't want to say like creators, influencers. You typically have the leverage. All right. The builders, the marketers, they're going to try to say like, marketers are revenue drivers, but like the builders and the operators are going to claim like they deserve more. You have to like be very firm about it. All right. You should always have commanding control, especially if you're the main revenue driver. Like I can't stress that enough. All right. Another reason why I've never been screwed in a partnership before is because I had 100% of the control. All right. So meaning I have the stalemate. So if we disagree on something, I can always have the last say. 2, all funds run through my accounts. So it's like and then we do the reporting. I can give them view access to Stripe, no problem. It just runs through my account and we pay out on a monthly basis, for example. All right. That's huge for me. That's like a non-negotiable. In fact, I have like a couple times like we started new corporations. Then we have like shared bank account access, so on and so forth. But like that's like very few, and yeah, it's not very often. Last but not least, no cannibalization. All right. So for example, if I start a service, let's say niche edits with someone 50-50. I wouldn't go start selling like niche edits on my own site. You know, I think that's kind of like a bad look for most people, especially if I'm the revenue driver, right? So let's say I start Advise, all right? A good example would be Advise. If I were to start another SEO community, you can argue Local Rank Academy is, but it's the community is vastly different. One's like agency bros trying to make it very like beginner, and then Advise is very high level affiliate, money making, SaaS in there. If I were to start the exact same thing, that's such a bad look. All right. And like, let me give you an example. Even when Sean was like, hey, Jackie, I want to start my own community on School. It'll be an SEO community. I doubt there'll be any cannibalization. I was like, I'm glad you asked. That's great. He said he wanted to get my blessings first. I was like, yeah, go for it, man. Dude, this is great. Most of the time, if you're not sure, it's better to ask than to just do it, you know? But yeah, I think those were a couple of my learnings. I hope that was helpful. Just, I think if there's any takeaway, make sure you just don't screw anyone ever. Okay? Like your how do I say? Your reputation is like the most important thing here, especially online. That's all you have nowadays, right? So, anyways, let me answer some questions from the day before. You guys didn't like that episode. How is that possible? That was like pure sauce. All right, whatever. Thank you for the comment about the scale plan. I responded to you on email. How would you approach running an Amazon affiliate for a parasite? Heard from someone it's not allowed. Redirects. Easy. Redirects or a two-stepper, meaning you can build a landing page and then two-step it. All right, guys, that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.